Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Tokyo Vampire Hotel, a Japanese television series from 2017 that was directed by our good friend, Sion Sono. Now this is 9 episodes long, with runtimes ranging between 38 to 58 minutes each. Now one thing to note is that episode 8 was split in half for the purpose of streaming. So it'll be 10 parts if you decide to stream it online. So the story dates back to the 16th century, when a crisis hit the Dracula clan, which was the point of origin of the vampire mythology throughout Europe. Now the Dracula clan was confined by a newly formed faction, the neo-vampires, deep underground. Now the neo-vampires were called the Corvin clan, and since then, the overground world belonged to this Corvin clan. They hunted human beings as they wished and desired, and they reached their peak of prosperity. In 1999, however, the planets of the solar system, including the Earth, lined up in the shape of a cross. This phenomena was called the Grand Cross, and it was written in a book of prophecy that the babies who were born on that day at 9 seconds past 9:09 a.m. would save the Dracula clan. So these babies were born in Japan, of course. The Dracula clan waited 22 years after the babies were born, as was written in prophecy, I guess, and hoped that these 3 young people would drive the Corvin clan back to the underworld. So our protagonist in this is a girl by the name of Manami, who is targeted by both of these rival vampire clans on her 22nd birthday. And that night, young men and women are invited to Hotel Requiem, where a nationwide matchmaking convention is being held by a mysterious man who lives in and operates a beautiful palatial hotel with his partner Elizabeth Bathory. This man declares to the gathered crowd that tomorrow will be an apocalypse, and only the people inside the hotel will be saved. Are you getting all this? Meanwhile, a vampire girl named Kay, who possesses tremendous power, attempts to save Manami in a raging battle within the hotel. So, I'm not sure exactly where to begin with this. This is one of those shows that a group of people could watch it and talk about it like all night. It's one of those. So in cases such as this, I just go with the easy stuff first. So, let's begin with the location. Wikipedia mentions that in addition to filming in the elaborate hotel set, which was constructed in Tokyo, Sono also convinced Amazon Japan to let him film in Romania. And this series features Bran Castle, commonly known as Dracula's Castle, the Salina Turda salt mines, and other spots in Transylvania, where Sono and his crew filmed for 5 days. If we didn't film in Romania, the series wouldn't have any power, Sono told the Japan Times. I had to do it. Just shooting in Tokyo would have been no good, he said. So my first reaction to these quotes was utter shock because Amazon Japan actually produced this movie. Now this is completely different from all of those Netflix originals, films and television series from Japan, South Korea, and China that frequently do not have Netflix as an actual producer. In this case, Amazon actually produced Tokyo Vampire Hotel. Nice. Now, with regard to the sets and locations, they're pretty cool here. The hotel itself uses an intense color scheme that showcases very vibrant colors. You get yellow, pink, a lot of pink, blue, red, and green, among others. Entire hotel rooms are frequently coated with just one color. You know what I'm saying? And anytime I see something like this, you may know where this is going. I'm immediately reminded of those old school Italian horror films from Dario Argento. Stuff like Suspiria. You know what I mean? I love color schemes like this because they're excessive and extremely atmospheric. Now, in terms of architecture, when I think of a vampire hotel in general, I immediately think of like an old, decrepit mansion environment, but that's not what you get here. The architecture of this hotel is very modern and slick looking, with a huge lobby area. But given the fact that this is a Tokyo vampire hotel, it actually makes sense when you think about it. And it certainly provides an interesting setting. There are some brief scenes in Romania, of course, as I mentioned, and those are pretty nice to see as well. Now, in terms of action, I would say that 75% of the action in this show is loaded into 2 episodes. Episode 1 and a later episode that I will not disclose, just so you don't know exactly when that's coming. But I will say that both of these episodes are completely insane. So much so I would say that Tokyo Vampire Hotel is worth watching for those 2 episodes alone. There's a lot of gratuitous violence, you know what I mean, in those particular episodes. So episode 1 begins with a large group of innocent people getting murdered in cold blood in a mass shooting event. It's fantastic. You know what I mean? This is exactly the type of violence that we need more in Hollywood movies, but no one's got the balls to do it because it's controversial. You know, Sono and Mike, apparently, they don't care. So when you get to that later episode that I alluded to earlier, you will be very pleased. If you're a fan, if you're the kind of person who likes like battle royal style mayhem, it's pretty entertaining stuff. That's all I'm going to say. But Erik, you might be asking, what about all of those other episodes? Well, I'm happy to say that there's a lot of interesting oddball aspects to hold your interest if you have a wide taste in film. And I emphasize this because there is some good traditional storytelling in this for sure, but there's also some really weird stuff mixed in as well. You know, a few episodes are glacially paced and psychological. A few episodes are action-packed. A few episodes are dreamy and practically art house in style. So this series definitely shifts gears a lot, so be ready for that. But the story is definitely interesting, I thought. I mean, listen to the plot synopsis. It's pretty interesting, right? And it's creative, too, when you think about all the various things that are packed into it. Tokyo Vampire Hotel is definitely a genre bender, okay? But if I had to choose one genre, if I just had to choose one to describe it, it would probably be horror. You know, there's quite a bit of bloody violence in this. Not always visceral in terms of horror, you know. A lot of the time, it's got like a traditional vampire style of horror to it, where you have the vampires all over the place, and you get just that thematic type of horror, you know what I mean? It uses its theme to infuse the genre. But there are also some references to horrific real-life events as well. You know, as I mentioned earlier, one of the characters is named after Elizabeth Bathory, a real-life Hungarian noblewoman who exhibited vampire-like tendencies, like bathing in the blood of her murder victims, especially the virgin ones, I guess, in order to retain her youth. So, you know, you have that there. And as an added bonus, there is some bizarre horror imagery in this. You know, for example, there's this ancient woman vampire empress that you see more during the beginning episodes. She's so shriveled up that she can't move, so the vampires kind of wheel her around on like a gurney, and her body is like the size of a toddler. It's pretty freaky. And the actress who played her is a girl by the name of Yumi Adachi, who I'm not familiar with, but she's wonderfully wacky in this. I really enjoyed her. And that brings us to the performances. The actress who played Manami was good, but the script kind of relegates her to being kind of in a confused, painful state of vampire puberty, you know, where her body is attempting to adapt to her newfound powers on her 22nd birthday. The more interesting female character in my eyes was the vampire assassin, Kei, who was played by an actress by the name of Kaho. I've become a fan of this actress after seeing the film Puzzle from 2014, I believe, and the television series All Esper Dio, which was also directed by Sono, if I remember correctly. She was great in those, and she's very good in Tokyo Vampire Hotel. The villains in this kind of feel generic near the beginning, but they definitely grow a personality as things move along. So before wrapping up this review, there are 2 warnings that I want to give potential viewers to this. First, you know, it's a Sono project. It gets rather crude at times, a bit perverted and offensive at times. And number 2, the tempo is going to go from 100 miles an hour to 5 miles an hour, and then back up to 100 miles an hour again. So if you have kind of an eclectic, wide-ranging taste in film, and you're a fan of this director, Tokyo Vampire Hotel is definitely worth watching. And it's currently available on Amazon streaming in the United States and Japan. And as always, I'll see you next time.